Edward Laos. Welcome to Travel Talk, filmed at the Peachtree Rose Marketing Studios and hosted by the hotel guide publisher, Edward Laos.
Good afternoon, everybody. Edward Laos here, publisher of the Hotel Guide and your host of Travel Talk. Really excited about today's episode. I have Karie Hall, who's joining me with the new Caesars Republic in Lake Tahoe. We were chatting offline a little bit about the personal connections to the property. We'll kind of get into that in a bit, but I wanted to just thank you for being on the call today, Karie. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be with you and be able to share a lot of great information about what we've been up to in Tahoe.
Oh, perfect. It's going to be amazing. Like I said, we were chatting offline a little bit about my connection to the property. And that's actually where my now wife and I got engaged at your property. So when I found out all the great things that are happening with the transformation, I was like, okay, I got to have Karie on the show. We got to talk about that connection and how we're going to get some things rolling as well. But my guests always want to know, or my listeners always want to know about, well, who are you talking to, Edward? So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, kind of how you got to where you are, and then we'll jump into some of the great things happening at Caesars Republic.
So, yeah, great. Thank you so much for that intro, and happy to share a little bit about myself. So funny enough, I have a personal connection with Tahoe as well. I was actually born here in Lake Tahoe.
Wow.
So this is a full circle moment for me. My parents were both in gaming, and we've moved around the country a few times. Most of my career was in Vegas. I spent a lot of time in Las Vegas, and then I had the opportunity to go out to Atlantic City about 8 years ago and spent some time out there. And I've been back in Lake Tahoe for about 4.5 years now. So again, a full circle moment for me to be able to come home and really be a part of these properties. I've been in the industry longer than I'd like to admit, but I love this industry. I started on the hotel side, so grew up through the hotel business, and then moved over into the gaming side, and now obviously have both as a general manager of a casino and hotel property. And just love being a part of this industry and being able to be really a part of transforming properties and bringing new things to travelers and visitors, and really excited about the Caesars Republic rebrand and launch here in Lake Tahoe.
Now, I think transformations and rebrands are always great. I have a marketing firm too. So creating things and being a part of that transformation and the final product it's always awesome. Every time I've talked to a GM who's been a part of a transformation of a property, it's almost like having your own little child. Just a multi-million-dollar child.
Yeah, they're expensive and they're needy, just like children. Yeah.
So why don't we jump into that? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the transformation, some of the great things that are happening or going to be also happening on the property, and again, why some of the guests should be earmarking Caesars Republic as a destination.
Yeah. So one of the things that's really unique about what we're doing here is Lake Tahoe is a destination in itself. People come here for so many different reasons, and to be a part of that and to be able to, bring a new experience to people is very exciting. Harvey's, which was the previous property, had been here for 80 years, and we absolutely love the history of that and really respect what the Ledbetter family brought to the table, Harvey Gross's family, but felt it was time for a refresh and to bring something new into the market. And Caesars Republic just fit that. It's really the great part about this brand is it's very unique to the destinations and where it sits. It's not a cookie cutter kind of Caesars, you're not going to see exactly what you'd see at other Caesars properties. It's very specific to the destination in which it sits. And we love that, especially because of all the amazing things that, people are here to be outside, and we're bringing some of those elements indoors into the property. And it's a complete transformation. And as our COO likes to say, it's a reimagination of the property. And I love that tagline because it really is a reimagination of everything that we're doing here in Lake Tahoe. Full casino remodel, full hotel towers have both been touched. One was a refresh because we just redone it in 2020. And then one was an entire renovation. And then we also have some brand new within the casino spaces, new high limit rooms, new poker room, really an entire exterior remodel. When you pull into Lake Tahoe, you're like, what is that brand new building? It looks completely different. And then we've also added Hell's Kitchen was here previously. We've expanded that area. And then last year we brought Wolf by Vanderpump
Yep.
on board. And that was really, when we started that project, was the cornerstone. It's really on the corner of State Line Avenue, and was the cornerstone. And we saw that potential and really brought it into the casino. And then that's phase one. We will complete. Phase one was completed on July 1st, and we did the relaunch of the entire brand. And then we stopped construction for the summer, because everyone knows that Lake Tahoe is, a summertime place, and we really didn't want to impact that summer experience. Yeah. So once concert season is over, we will restart phase two, which it'll be a great refresh, but it won't be nearly as impactful as the first phase. And that'll hit the convention floors, our pool deck, and then the remainder of the casino space and our bars will be completely done. And then the final phase will be done next summer, and we will have a grand opening summer of 2026. But wow. Most of the construction is done now.
Oh, that's great. What has been guest feedback so far with all the new stuff?
It's been incredible. We started this project we've been talking about it for quite some time, but we really started the heavy work in November. And then as we got into the spring, people were like, are you really going to get this done by July 1st? And they were just amazed at how much work we'd gotten done, and walked in, and just, especially the lobby. And I should, I would be remiss if I don't talk about the lobby. It is absolutely an Instagrammable moment. You walk in, and there's beautiful chandeliers that if you look just in the right spot, you'll see these images of wolves in it, and people just walk in and are blown away at the difference and the transformation that had happened over the past 7 months. We have this great new cocktail bar right in the lobby. It's this really cool place for people to just hang out and meet. And it's Cleo's Coffee and Cocktails. And in the morning it's coffee, in the afternoon it shifts into a cocktail bar. And it's just such a great experience. The people are loving it, and we're getting a lot of great feedback, and just saying it feels like a more modern, just kind of fresh twist on Tahoe. And we're really excited that that's exactly what we're going for. And people are just excited when they walk in and see the changes. So,
wow, I really love hearing. It's funny because I can envision everything and how it was, and to hear how you're doing and how it's new gets me excited about going back there and visiting the property. But there was already so much richness in the area. Obviously, you talked about full circle moment, going from Tahoe and coming back to Tahoe. And that was my first time there a year ago. And so it was really a unique experience to see it at that level. And everything that y'all are doing and have done is just commendable. And I can see why people are going to want to flock there and be a part of the new thing there in the area as well. What's been your greatest challenge so far with the transformation?
Well, I mean, we obviously, we were still open while we were working through that, and, a lot of apologies to the customers who came in and had to experience that. But we kept telling them it's going to be well worth it, and, bear with us. But it's really, and that's a lot of the feedback we've gotten, is they've come back since then, and we have a lot of repeat customers, and they're just like, this is fantastic. We see what you were trying to accomplish. And really, the challenge is making sure that people understand what it is we're trying to accomplish. We want it to be very approachable. It's not, we want it to elevate the experience, but we still want people to feel comfortable, and it's still Tahoe, and it's still, we want them to come in and have a great cocktail and have an affordable meal and go to a great concert. We have this amazing concert series in the summer, and just feel like they're a part of everything that Tahoe has to offer. And then again, there's so many wonderful things to do here. We want to be another one of those great things that people talk about, and really that draws people into the area. And so they can come to Tahoe and then see everything else that Tahoe has to offer.
That's awesome. Well, it's great to be the hub of what's going on in Tahoe. Yeah. It's what you want when you got a property there. So let's switch a little bit from the business side of things, and let's talk a little about the personal side. I always like to ask my guests a couple of cool questions on their travel. But what have been some of your favorite travel destinations that you've been to so far?
Oh, I'm a big traveler. I love going places and experiencing just culture and new places and people. My husband and I are big Caribbean travelers. We were actually married in the Caribbean. We go back often, and we always like to try and, sit at one island, and then we'll just branch out and take a ferry or take a little plane over to other places, and big Caribbean travelers. I also, when I was younger in my career, spend a lot of time in South America. So I love South America. It's one of the places I want to take my kids back to, but just love Uruguay and Chile and Argentina. So, I'll go anywhere, but those are places where it just mean a lot to me. And but the Caribbean is probably my go-to though. We take the family now and we just explore and go to different islands, see different things, and just be a part of the island for a couple weeks. So
that's fun. That's experiential travel, and that's such a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was talking to someone before our call, and experiential travel has always been there, but now it's actually being called experiential travel. When you do travel, it's for the experience of where you're going and what you're trying to accomplish as well. But now it's a whole category and its namesake. So it's kind of interesting there. So speaking of experiential travel and bucket list, what are some of your bucket list travel spots?
I'm planning and in the midst of planning Greece. You can kind of get the whole island vibe from me, but we love going to those islands. So I'm like, oh, what are the next ones we're going to explore? But I know Greece has been a hot spot recently, but that's somewhere I'd really love to see because it kind of blends a lot of that historic. You get to see, just amazing things that you've read about, and then you can have a little leisurely island experience too. So that's one area that I really want to go and take my kids to. And then I have 3 teenage daughters that are all like super big travelers as well. And they are adding to my bucket list. They're like, here's where we need to go next. And so my bucket list changes depending on what they want to do, but that's definitely Greece is on our list. Slovenia is somewhere else. Czech. I'd really love to get to some of those places. Also, I really love to do Christmas in some of the Christmas markets in like Germany and Austria. And that's another thing that's at the top of my list. Not as warm, but it'd be just as much fun and just something that, like you said, very experiential and just creating memories about places, not just going and, staying in a hotel and checking off the list, but just really being out there and experiencing the culture and
I think that's great in how that happens. And I think going back full circle to what you're talking about the property, I'm getting that's the vibe you're trying to accomplish there at Caesars Republic. Really being an experiential thing, a hub for Lake Tahoe, but also, like you said, bringing the outdoors kind of to the indoors with the culinary aspect, with a place to commune. I love the bar and coffee concept in the lobby. Such a great idea right there. Is that kind of what you guys are trying to accomplish there as well?
It is. And, if you were to walk around Tahoe, one of the things that is a little unique to us is I've walked around and just there's very social aspect. We get a lot of people coming in and wanting large parties because they're here with friends, they're here with family, or they're reconnecting with people, and they're like, hey, there's 11 of us. Can you take care of you? And that's one of the things that we realized, like, we really need to be able to make sure that we can execute well on this and be somewhere that people feel good about bringing families and friends and these big groups together, and they're just having a fun time. If you've ever been here in the summer over celebrity golf, that's the prime example of that. Just everyone's here having this really communal, amazing experience all together. And recreating littler moments of that throughout our season, and being able to have people want to come and bring that group and feel comfortable and know that we'll be here to take care of them, and they can all go out on a boat together, go golfing together, go hiking, skiing, whatever it is. And there's a lot of that group activity. So how do we bring that inside and make sure that we're able to execute on that as well? It's a big focus of ours.
Oh, that's awesome. I love what y'all are doing there and everything with the property. We got a couple of minutes left. Any final thoughts for our listeners out there? And also, what's the best way for them to learn more about Caesars Republic Lake Tahoe?
Well, just like you said, it's Caesars Republic Lake Tahoe.com. Caesars.com is another way. If you're not a part of our rewards program, that's a great way to get in and just sign up, and then you get all the information, and you be able to communicate and send special offers or discounts to you. But really, we really want people to, if you haven't been to Lake Tahoe in a while, think about it. It's such a great place. We're coming up on kind of a fall season, and it's such a beautiful time to be here in Lake Tahoe in the fall. Summer is fantastic. It is busy. Obviously, it's, peak season. But the fall, you can just get almost every activity, and you have the lake kind of to yourself. And then as we get into winter season, obviously, as soon as that first snowfall hits, we shift gears. But really, if you haven't been in a while, come and check it out. There's so many great things, not only what we're doing, but just the town in general. The entire area is really putting a lot of reinvestment into South Lake Tahoe and making sure that people have lots of reasons to come and feel good about staying here. So that's something I absolutely would love everyone to know. And if you have been here, but you haven't been in a while, you really need to come check out what we've done and what's going on around town, because you will be absolutely, this is not the same place that I was here just a month ago or 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So much development and so much evolution of what we're trying to bring to the customer experience here. So very excited about not only what we're doing, but what the community is doing as a whole.
Nice. Well, I can vouch for it. I can't wait to go back and see the property firsthand and all that you've done. But I want to thank you, Karie, for being on our podcast today. It's been a pleasure having you on and hearing more about what's going on at Caesars Republic.
Well, we always love sharing what's going on up here. So anytime. And thanks for having us.
Oh, perfect. Well, to all of our listeners out there, you know the drill. Follow us at thehotelguide.com. For this podcast, all of the ways to find Caesars Republic are going to be in the notes. Please like, share, subscribe, not only to us, but that Caesars Reward program, it's a real deal. So please, I'm not just pitching them. I'm a member myself, but go do that, and you stay in contact with all the Caesars properties, especially Caesars Republic Lake Tahoe. Again, to all of our listeners, thank you for everything. Travel, make memories, and until next time, we'll take care.